right, lead
All
us
right,
into
the
our next one.
next topic. This is another Twitter topic. It's so much stuff comes with Twitter because as I'm scrolling, I'm always seeing stuff. So what I saw on Twitter, I'd actually seen this a while ago, where somebody said that, and I don't know where these topics are coming from, or these talking points are coming from, but she said that, I think it was a TikTok, and then it led to a Twitter conversation about how she felt that people shouldn't feel obligated, like they shouldn't make their friends feel obligated to pick them up from the airport and do stuff like that. And then the conversation extended to, you shouldn't, after a certain age, you shouldn't expect your friends to help you move. You should hire movers, right? So now somebody made a tweet saying, y'all be talking about not being obligated to help your friends move, pick them up, / drop them off at the airport. What do you even do for your friends besides show up to their birthday dinners and cause confusion when the bill comes? So a lot of people co-sign this, like, damn, yeah, like you guys don't want to do nothing for your friends, which I get it, right? Like some people I feel like do complain too much a lot about what it is to be a friend. So it's like, okay, yeah, what do you want? But then this made me want to have a conversation. Like, do you feel like our friends like a fall guy? Are they obligated to help you? Like, are they obligated to do things for you? Like, and I feel like this will kind of come down to what is even like your opinion or viewership or definition of what friendship is anyway. Because I think that would be a good way to answer that first, and then break it down into what they're obligated to do. So I'm gonna ask you first, and then I'll go with my opinion. But what do you think? Like, first of all, like, yeah, what do you think a friend is?
I'm a little bit different than normal people because I don't really require a lot of social aspects
Yeah,
to my life. So I don't need a lot of friends. I don't need a lot of family. So for me, I don't require a lot from even friends. So when it comes to what I would want from a friend, it has nothing to do with actions. Like my love language has nothing to do with acts of service, for example. So I don't really actually even like people doing things for me, but I'm a unique case. So I do understand that. But for me, a friend is more so not even emotional support, but I like to gain knowledge from people. So who I consider to be a friend is somebody that could really like teach me things, um, and maybe somebody I can rely on for knowledge. But I wouldn't use friends for like a psychologist or psychiatrist to talk about my issues. I wouldn't use a
yeah,
friend as a task rabbit to go and help me do things. Like I would never ask really anybody. Like I'm too independent of a person to really ask anybody for anything. So if there's something I need, I'm going to go out and get it myself. And if there's not something that I can go out and get myself, for the most part, I probably just won't do it. Then
yeah,
if I can't do it myself, I probably just won't do it. But if it's something critical, like if I need somebody to help me move, then worst case scenario, I'll help. I go and pay somebody to like pay some movers. But my
mm-hmm.
last resort would be to ever ask somebody I consider to be a friend or even family to help me with anything. And I know people's perspective is like, well, what's the point of having them?
Yeah,
But for me, I'm such an independent person, and I've put myself in a position to know a lot about a lot of different things, and know a little bit about a lot of different things as well. So I'm like well versed in my skills, so I can do a lot for myself. So the only thing I really need is maybe sometimes some guidance on advice if somebody's been through a situation or things like that. But never emotional support. That's not something I feel like you should put on people, especially friends. Like you're not even like that's kind of a lot. It could be a lot for people because
yeah,
I've seen what that's done to me when people put all their shit on me, especially because I live a
exactly.
very calm life. So like
Yeah, same.
I don't require a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like even putting that emotional burden on people is crazy. So for me, that's a friend, like
Yeah,
somebody that could teach me something, and that's essentially it. Like if I had a whole group of just professor type people and had them as friends, then that would be ideal. But anything outside of that, I'm never asking anybody for anything.
yeah. And that's such an interesting perspective because it's almost like I feel like if you love a person, then you wouldn't even burden them. So that's why I always view that. So that's why it's so interesting, right? Because like I feel like I understand the need for community and you need people, and like I feel like the best thing in life, honestly, like and like I said, everybody's needs are different, right? 'Cause I'm similar to you where I've learned that about myself. The older I've gotten, is that I think I've always thought I wanted a lot of people in my life, and I realized it's not it. Like this, it's you dealing with too many personalities, too many variables, and then you're more exposed to more dangers. You're more exposed to more likeliness for things to go crazy in your life, right? Like the more people you're around, and then like just in my experience, like with friendships, never had any really friendship that I felt like were fulfilling in any way. Like besides, we partied together, we gossiped, like. nothing ever really felt fulfilling except for like the people who I feel are in my life now, and like and you. It's like that's the only time where I feel like I've actually had value out of a friendship. And so I learned that I don't need a lot of people either. I'm very like, I wouldn't say I'm hyper independent, but I just feel like I don't require a lot. Like, so I feel like you fulfill a lot of any of my social needs. Um, but I don't require that. I love being, I love, like, I love myself. So I love spending a lot of time with myself. So my view on friendship is very like the same, similar to yours. Whereas I feel like a lot of people, especially, they might have a different view, especially if they're single, right? They are very dependent on their friendships. Like I've had friends literally get mad at me because I'm not texting them every single day, which is crazy, right? Like I'm not you're not your man. So like I'm not gonna text you every day. Like I feel like that's kind of, and everybody has their different things. Like some people might think texting their friends every day is fine. That's cool. I'm just not that type of person. I don't require that. So I've had friends who are very like that. So I think first of all, the best thing in life is find whatever your view of friendship is. Just find friends that align with that. I think that will solve so many people's problems. But yeah, like I don't require a lot out of friendships. I'm very low maintenance. I would consider myself a low maintenance friend. And yeah, like I think friendships are good to have. And yeah, I feel like you should have people that you can be able to call to vent and maybe like cry a little bit too, or just talk about life, share advice, get help if you really need help. If all your options are expensed and you really need a friend or somebody to help you, yeah, or that friend might offer, right? If they're just that type of person. But it should never be that they're like like you burdening them, and that's why I feel like you should never burden somebody. If you love them, you wouldn't burden them. Like you wouldn't call them all the time with your me problems, because it's like, how do you think they feel? Like you're sitting there badgering them with a whole bunch of emotional turmoil. Like you're going through stuff, so they might be feeling that. And they also might be stressed out. Like, are you okay? Like, what's happening now? Are you good? Do you need me to come? Like, if you live long distance, do you need me to come fly to you? Now you're spending money, and yeah, you should do those things for your friend. But when you start like inconveniencing someone else's life, like how much do you love them as a friend? And yeah, I get you might be there for them during their down season, right? And that's what like with friendships was played before, but it's just like, I don't know. So I just feel like my opinion on it, I don't think your friends obligated to do nothing for you. I don't think anybody's obligated to do anything for you. Literally, like I think we're born into the world alone, you'll die alone, and that's how I view that. Nobody's obligated to do anything for you. People could want to do things because they love you, and that's just who they are. But nobody's obligated. And I think my issue I have with, look, you see me, I pick up my family members from the airport all the time. If I had friends that live closer, I'll pick them up too. They needed a ride, right? I don't mind doing those things for people. But what I don't like, I feel like if those people are kind of like plan A's, I feel like with picking up from the airport, fine. Like if I live 10 minutes from the airport, I know you have a different opinion. But if I live 10 minutes from the airport, like, okay, if I'll come pick you up, like it's no big deal. Especially if you're paying me, whatever, right? You might take me out to dinner as your payment, right? Cool. But I'm the type of person where that's not a plan A for me. Like, so realistically, like even if I'm coming to visit you, I'll take an Uber unless you want to come pick me up. Unless you offer, right? Like, I'm gonna go visit my sister. I've taken an Uber one time to go to her place, but there's been times where she offered to pick me up. If you're gonna offer, I'm not gonna say no. Okay, cool. Thank you. But you're never a plan A, and that's the issue I have. And people make them like they'll make plans based around the assumption that you're gonna do something for them, and I don't like that because it's like you're making plans around me helping you. Like moving, that's another example she made. I shouldn't be a plan A to move you. Get movers. If you're tight on money, then yeah, maybe hey, I hate to bother you. I'm really tight on money, but can you help me? That's one thing, right? But you should never be a plan A, in my opinion. And that's my whole thing. It's like nobody's obligated to do anything, but nobody should be a plan A. Like your friends should not be plan A. You should not burden them with like that. Or you shouldn't be making plans with that assumption that they're gonna just do it because they're my friend. They're gonna do it. They love me. They're my friend. Like no one has to do anything for you. If they want to, that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting debate. But I think it all boils down to what your opinion on friendship is, what your view on friendship is, what you require out of your friendships. Everybody requires different things from their relationships, their friendships, the familial relationships. So it's all about what you look for in your friends. And some people look for a lot. Some people view their friends as like another half of them, and they're very needy friends. So me personally, no offense, but I'm not a fan of needy friends. Like I've had clingy friends, and it's just not who I am. So it's like I'm not really susceptible. No, that's the right word. I'm not really. What's the word? When you're like open to receiving. I'm not really
Receptive.
I'm not really receptive of clinginess and needy friends, because I feel like that's not. I don't know. It's interesting. Cause maybe I have that perception because I have you, and I have to understand a lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I try to be like fair and empathetic of that, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everybody just has to find their vibe with their friends. But I don't think people are obligated to do any of those things that they listed. No one's obligated to help you move. No one's obligated to pick you up from the airport. But I say ask if it comes, if worst case scenario, or like you know you have no other options, you spend all your options, ask, and if they offer, then you know if you want to accept the offer, accept it. But don't you know what I hate, like I've had like my own family members do this, and like no offense to them if they're listening, but it's like, because my mom was just talking about this earlier, like my sister did this, where it's like, hey, you want to do my hair tomorrow? It's like, do I want to do your hair? No, I don't want to do it. You know, I hate when people do that. Like my dad did that too. Hey, you want to do my taxes? No, I don't. Like, I don't want to do them. Like, just ask. You know, I don't like that, because it's almost kind of like, I get it. Like, they're not saying it. I don't think there's any ill will, but it's just kind of, it comes across kind of like off-putting. Like, no, I don't. Like, you got ask me, hey, can you do my hair? Can you do my taxes? Do I want? But hey, do you want to do it? No, I don't. Like, so that's what I mean. Where I feel like, you know, when you base your question like that, it almost sound like obligatory. Like they're obligated to do it. Or you're already like planning for them to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So